to the football show. I have a special guest. He's not on screen just yet. I see him cheering up, but please welcome the one and only Fonzi.
Let's go. I just pulled a hammy.
We made it. Fonzi is back. The football show. By the way, we dropped this incredible episode, and then Fonzi just happened to have a baby. Just gonna put it out there.
Yeah,
Congrats, Fonzi.
It was been cooking for about 9 months, so it's not like the baby just randomly appeared.
The baby just randomly appeared. Well, welcome back, Fonzi, to the football show. I'm excited. I've been chasing him for a little bit, but we understand that new dads need to sleep so they can get their dad bod, and that's why we're not filming from the waist down.
Oh no. Not the sleeping, bro. It's a sharing it with your child. You know, you gotta start Project Messi from day one. What do you think?
That's right, Project Messi. I have Project Luca and Project Mateo. Just saying.
Actually, I'm gonna have to start getting into women's soccer.
I know.
So I'm gonna have to. I mean, I guess Marta is the only one that comes to mind. You know, the Brazilian that played like I don't know how many World Cups, and she was the best in the world. Wow. So Project Marta starts. Well,
what about Rapinoe? What about Rapinoe?
Nah, no, thank you.
Oh man, that's not good. That's awesome.
Maybe I didn't get to play for Arsenal, but maybe my daughter will. You know, maybe that's how I will make my way down to the Emirates.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome, man. Well, we are back, and we might have some topics that we want to talk. The first one being, baby, Barcelona, the champion of La Liga, baby. Let's go. As we're recording this, I'm literally seeing the footage of them just going through Barcelona in the bus, and awesome. So, shout out to all my Barcelonistas.
Awesome.
The what?
Going on the bus and awesome.
Yeah, of course, man.
I'm putting the stuff right here. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch the game or anything. You know, parenthood. But I did hear that they won the league. I think they deserve it for the season they had. Way better than Madrid. You know, Madrid hater. I'm a Madrid and a Barca hater. You know, I'm gonna put it out there. This is a biased commentary. I don't care. We said that at the beginning of the show. But honestly, the games that I saw of Barcelona, very attractive gameplay. You know, like the way they're playing, it's amazing. The games at the end of the season, you know, the Champions League semifinal against Inter, obviously that game against Real Madrid, so many goals. You know, they definitely need to work a little bit on their defense, but you know, they take such a high risk playing with such a high line, but it's a lot of fun to watch. I you know, top Madrid and Barca hater, but I will accept that it was fun to watch them play.
Hey, I appreciate you saying that, especially where you're coming from, because if you don't know, Fonzi became a Real Madrid fan when we were growing up, and you know,
just to go against you on that.
The dark past. But I mean, yeah, we saw, you know, we were both away watching the Champions League semifinals, and you know, I cried a bit, but what a game, right, on Barcelona's side. And I didn't dare to call you the next day.
I think like it's been years since I saw a semifinal like that.
Yeah, final score, 7-6, right? Like for combine both games. And before then, the stat was Inter only conceded 3 goals in the entire Champions League tournament, which was insane, right? You know, obviously a couple of things for Barcelona to work on their defense, because allowing that amount of goal, I mean, they was completely open. But either or, I think, you know, not to talk too much about them, because we don't want this podcast to be, maybe we want it to be the official Barca podcast, but it's crazy. It's the youngest squad in Europe, is the youngest squad in Spain. And the way that they've, you know, started establishing and ended up, you know, winning all the Spanish championships and beating Real Madrid 4 times in one season, 5 if you count preseason, is pretty impressive. So I'm happy. It's going to be a good summer.
Yeah.
What about you, Fonzi?
Do you think they're going to do any signings, any players in Barcelona's radar?
Obviously, there's a lot of rumors out there. I think, what's his name? He's a Spanish defender that plays in Premier League. Hajun, I think it's called. I can't remember.
Nah, bro, he already signed for Real Madrid.
Is that Fabrizio Romano official? I don't think.
Is Fabrizio Romano official?
No way.
Yep. Hutchinson, the one that plays I'm probably butchering his last name, but it's the one that plays at Bournemouth. Here.
There's no way.
I cannot share my screen, but it says, here we go. Sure. Real Madrid agree all to sign Dean Hutchinson as new center back.
I mean,
he's the one that scored the goal
way.
Where Bournemouth tied Arsenal.
Yeah. We're sharing screen right here on the. We're sharing screen right here on the in the stream. Oh boy. Well, never mind, Fabrizio. Thank you for. Damn, man. I didn't know. Cool. Well, I guess good for them, but nothing I can do that. Okay, well, never mind then. That rumor was completely fake. But as far as like new signings, I think they want to keep like most of the squad. There's been, rumors that Araujo might leave the team. I don't think so. He's one of the captains. But curiosity, during the game when he was subbed off, he asked to keep his captain armband and he kept it and put it away. Who knows?
Oh, that's kind of odd.
That is very odd.
I mean, it could be. Is that his first league title with Barcelona?
No, 2 seasons ago when they won again in the Espanyol field, they also won it. He was there. He's been through the worst in the last few years.
That is an interesting gesture.
That is a very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I did hear that. I think Juventus was very interesting.
Yeah. Apart from that, I think they're going to lean heavy into, the youngsters again, which, their main team youngsters are like 20 and 18-year-olds. So I don't know.
Barcelona's broke.
They cannot go younger. Who knows?
They had to rely on the youngsters.
Yeah.
They have no other choice. But yeah, I mean, it has turned out pretty good. They do. Obviously, Barcelona has always been linked to one of the best academies in the world. Yeah. And you can see it. I mean, the quality of the players that come out of it. That I will say, I love, obviously, Arsenal, the best team in the world. I love Mikel Arteta. I think he's an amazing coach. As much criticism that he gets for maybe his very structured way to manage things and playing style. But I do wish he would give youngsters a little bit more of opportunity in the Arsenal team. I mean, this season, Miles Lewis-Kelly, he did amazing. He debuted. He literally earned that spot, and he was probably one of the best ones in, the outside back position, actually like an inverted outside back. But then you had Nwaneri, which when Odegaard was injured, Nwaneri started playing a lot. And dude, I personally thought he was doing great, but as soon as Odegaard came back in, he went back into kind of like a secondary role, and he didn't get as many minutes. I personally think there were a couple games where he could have made a difference. He's really good playing in the pocket. And Odegaard, I love him. He's great. He's a captain, but he didn't have his best season. I think there could have been times where maybe putting Ethan Nwaneri in that position would have been better. But, this is not the Arsenal show, so what else you got?
I know. I mean, we've been away from cameras for a long time, so we kind of need a little bit of updates in here.
We need the best team in the world section, and then that's where I'll just talk about.
And then all the other teams. But no, I think, what's coming to the US this summer? I've been listening to this new show I discovered, and obviously some people are excited about it. Some people are like, this is just a money grab for FIFA. Are you excited about it? I saw a recent tweet of a Madrid fan congratulating, okay, Barca, yeah, you're good, but are you going to be in the World Cup of the clubs? And I'm like, we don't care. We'd rather have the rest.
Now that is a card for, a bragging card. Yeah. When a couple months ago, they were all criticizing and, they were making such a big deal about it, which I think is going to be fun. It's awesome that they're coming here, all these clubs, they're playing. I mean, yeah. Arsenal's not coming, so that's tournament is not going to be that good. But I don't know, the part that I do empathize, I guess, with these players is like, dude, they're just being exploited at this point. They're playing so many games, and people can make the argument, they get paid so much money. It's like, yeah, but I feel like they're just getting so much more too. and like that just sucks for the game. And it also takes away a little bit from the excitement of it. It's not the same having, 2 El Clásicos a year, maybe 3, than, I don't know, 5, 7, throughout the whole season. And then you go in preseason and they're playing again. That's a little bit challenging. And we've talked about it a couple episodes before, kind of like that comparison about Jude Bellingham and David Beckham at the same age. Yeah. Like Jude Bellingham, I don't have the exact same number, but he had played like 5 times the amount of games that Beckham had played, and it's insane.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I saw a report on FIFA trying to sell more FIFA World Cup, like the Club One tickets for like this year, 2025. And if you got an X amount, you're guaranteed tickets for the World Cup. And it's like they're making these offers because people are not buying the tickets. Like people don't even know what like the clubs that are coming here, right? Is more, I'll say as a TV deal. So, if you're listening to this and you want to go to the games, maybe hold off till a couple of months until right before the cup starts, because maybe you can grab those tickets very cheaply, because I don't think a lot of people want to go. I mean, in one of our WhatsApp groups, they were making fun, like, hey, let's go see the Clásico, Al Hilal versus, Juarez or whatever. It's like, who's going to watch that, right? Like, no disrespect if you're like, whatever, a fan of those teams. But in the States, especially because, the sport has been growing, but it's been growing with the Premier League, it's been growing with Serie A, it's been growing with La Liga, right? Mainly Premier League and Serie A, because is majority ownership for those, Americans own those teams. Like Americans own half of the Serie A. We talked about this in the last episode. So it's really, I'm very interested to see what the marketing move is gonna be for this cup, and the kind of the outside of the world view versus what's really happening here on the States.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's the lack of knowledge from a lot of these teams, that are coming here. I feel like for the most part on the summer, you have all these obviously really big teams coming in for preseason, and that helps with marketing. But of course, you have, I don't know the all the teams that are coming, but you might have a team from South America that not everybody knows, and that's going to be way more difficult to market. If I had the time, if I wasn't at that, and I could just go anywhere, any stadium, sure, I would go watch Al Hilal or whatever, and Juarez, right? I would go watch those games just because like it's just fun to watch the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I feel like a lot of people here, they just want to see the stars. They want to see the big players. And that's the other thing. Is like, I know there's a lot, they up the prize money, so clubs would be serious about it. But it's preseason. This is in the middle of preseason too for a lot of these clubs where, maybe they're not in shape. They need to see players. They need to rotate. So, they might not be playing the stars. It'll be interesting, I'll follow on TV, catch a few games here and there, but
we're here on a site, Culture of Sport, right? Inside FIFA, 1.25 billion Club World Cup plan, right? Prize money, power shifts, obviously a whole article. We're going to link it right below. I just Googled this, by the way. This is not research, but it's a ton of money, man. It's a ton of money that people, are there. I think if you don't go past the group stage, you still get something like $10 million, right? So for a team like Monterrey, or a team like, an Australian team, for example, that maybe in their local leagues, they might not have that opportunity, let alone get to the group stage or get to semifinals, right? That is a big opportunity. So I see why some of these teams are really excited to be part of that, even with the bigger teams, right? If you win, I think the prize money for the final, if you end up winning the whole thing, is 100 million. That's a pretty good paycheck.
Yeah. From the FIFA website, this was published about 20 days ago. FIFA Club World Cup 2025, record prize money and unprecedented solidarity to benefit club football. FIFA has confirmed the distribution model for its new club competition that includes 1 billion prize money for the 32 participant clubs, plus a substantial and groundbreaking global solidarity model. I don't know exactly what that is. Probably, we should read this this over here, but it's pretty wild. It says group stage 3 matches per club, 2 million. If you win one, so 2 million win, 1 million draw per club. So I guess does that like stacks like 2 million per every time you win? That's quite a bit of money. Round of 16 plus 7.5 million. Can't talk right now. Quarterfinals plus 13 million. So if you make round of 16 and you go to quarterfinals, and you is this? I wonder if this is actually.
I'm on the same link that you are right now.
If you play quarterfinals, yeah. So just by playing round of 16 and quarterfinal, you have 20 million right there for your club, right? I mean, it's a lot.
Well, that's a performance, right? And then on top of that, you have a participation pillar, right? That you already, like, if you are part of it, you already get that pool. So like Europe, you get, 12 to almost 40 million, depending on the team, right? Then you have 15 million for South America, Asia, 9 million, right?
It's
Africa.
Determined by a ranking based on sporting and commercial criteria. So, I mean, obviously the more popular teams that drive the more views, they'll get more of that money. But I mean, what can 15 million do for a team in South America? That I feel like that's huge. That's massive.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, we could Google, right? Like, what's the prize money? Let's say for winning
Libertadores. Look for the Libertadores prize.
Well, I was looking for Brasileirão, which is 18 million. So the Brazil League is 18 million, right? And then just if you're part of it, and then Copa Libertadores, right? According to Google, it's $23 million, right?
3 million. Wow.
So opportunity, obviously, I think for the fans and maybe the players, right? Do they see a chunk of that money? I don't know.
Interesting. Look at this. 2024 Copa Libertadores, Botafogo received 23 million in prize money. This makes the final the highest paid match in the world. Wow. That is very interesting.
That is
again. This is all Google, so we might have to do a little bit more research.
Double check, yes. If you're listening and you're from the organization,
that is very interesting, dude. And it went up from the 2023. They earned 18 million. That is quite a bit. That is quite a jump. It's almost 30% of prize money added to that.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the debate continues. I think. I mean, it could be a spectacle. I think part of it too for the. It will be a good practice round for this country, based on what we saw with Copa America, right? That especially the final that was in Miami was a disaster. We have friends that were there. People were jumping on the fences. The stadium was not prepared. How it happens here in the United States is they give those contracts to the stadium, and the stadium has the ownership group of that stadium is the one that manages all security. That's what happens with all the professional sports here. So that's what happened with Copa America, and they dropped the ball big time. So that has raised a lot of red flags.
Yeah, for sure. I think also the environment, is like we went to the opener of Copa America with Argentina, and it was kind of, I mean, it was a great experience. Don't get me wrong, but it was kind of sad too. The environment, it literally, that one felt like a messy fest. It didn't feel like it was true hardcore football fans, singing and chanting, and even if you don't know the songs, where you're sitting right next to the ultras of a team, you start learning the songs and singing and throwing beer when they score a goal. Like, there was none of that stuff. I don't know. And I know there's a lot of regulations in these stadiums too. I don't know if they change it, but for Copa America, I think each stadium had they made up kind of like their own rules. Yeah. And it was, again, I don't think it helped at all for the environment. Like, you don't see any flags because you cannot bring any poles, right? You don't see any stuff, and it's like, dude, I need flares. you know.
And also, this comes from us. We've been blessed enough to see some games like that, and obviously we followed the sport for so long, and we've seen it all over the globe. But something like comparable to like the Olympics maybe, or a different World Cup. I don't know if you have been on the World Cup. Let us know in the comments. Like, is it that regulated? Obviously, you know, we've had people that have been in those, and depends on the country at the end of the day. But you know, I think like the US has the opportunity to put a big show in whatever situation that they're in. But like you said, you know, it was a better atmosphere when we watched Venezuela, Jamaica versus the Argentina opening game, and it was because that stadium in Austin was 25,000 people, all Venezuelans, right? And we were noisy, like it was like the true fans versus in this team was, like you said, like the Messi fans. They were like South Americans from all over the country. And we met some Argentinians that were staying with us in the hotel, right? That they came from Argentina for the full month to follow the team. And they were commenting on that. They were like, this is nothing compared to like the World Cup that the entire, like, you know, country kind of followed. And, you know, it's, you know, I guess we'll see. But at the club level, right? A team like, for example, you know, Botafogo or a team like Auckland City, right? From like, are they going to be able to move this amount of people and come and watch and play? I don't think so, right? Like, I think those stadiums are going to be half full. I think the cameras are not going to show it. I think it's going to be.
I mean, you have no other option. You know, you got the wide angles. Like, it's gonna show. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Hopefully, we're just being over negative talking it right now, and it's a great event. Hopefully, it goes out great. You know, it's competitive. People want to tune in, and you know, maybe some teams will get new fans. That'll be incredible, right? Like,
yeah.
But I don't know. Just based on everything that we've seen previously, and at the stage that they've been doing this, right, and kind of like under the premise of why they're doing this, and just I think people are also a little bit upset at like how FIFA wants to just like make football so commercial. You know, it's like we just want to make more money. Like it does feel that way. Nothing wrong with that. You know, we're all about it. You know, let's go capitalism. But at the end of the day, like these players need rest, right? And like I mentioned at the beginning, I think it loses a little bit of the charm when, you know, you see the teams play each other, you know, 10 times a season, right? When, I don't know, I think that's a joy. Like, dude, that game of Arsenal, Real Madrid in Champions League, it's been like 20 years since they play each other. I was like, that's a long time. For me, it was like one of the games of my lifetime, probably, you know, but now if they're going to be playing each other also in eventually, who knows, in the World Cup or the season, blah, 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 like all these things. Yeah. I think it does lose its charm a little bit. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. Debate's open. Let us know in the comments. Do you agree with this tournament? Are you looking forward to it? Are you gonna watch some of the teams?
Yeah, I'll be watching it for sure.
I mean, we'll be watching. We'll be following for sure. Maybe there's also for young players on these teams is gonna be a stage, right? Like they're gonna be watched. They're gonna be part of it. And who knows? These preseason signings happen. So we'll be following those stories. We'll be following the tournament. I think it's gonna be a good learning lesson for this country. It's gonna spark their interest. I feel like this is a marketing campaign for the actual World Cup. So we'll see. That's my bold opinion. But yeah, I think with that said, guys, I think this is the end of this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Fonzi, anything else that you want to add apart from saying that the Barça is the best team in the world right now?
Definitely didn't say that, but
debatable.
Happy to be back in the football show.
Let's go.
Just let us know feedback. What do you want us to talk about? What do you enjoy about this? You know, like we've said, this is a little bit biased, obviously, because my brother, unfortunately, he's a huge Barcelona fan. Fortunately, I'm a huge Arsenal fan. And of course, we're going to have, you know, a little bit biased commentary into that. But the whole purpose of this is to drive conversation. Let us know what you know. We would love to highlight the comments here on the show. You know, we'll give you a shout out. Maybe in the future, it's possible we can bring some people in and talk about the topic live. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So we just want to end the conversation about the most beautiful sport in the world.
That's right. That's right. We'll see you on the next episode. Take care, guys.
See ya.